Hey everybody, it's me. But you thought that I forgot about day 14 of Budget Watch 2017. I did not. But today is Mother's Day, and I spent some time with my mom and my girlfriend's mom and my grandma and lots of good people. And I hope you did too. I know Mother's Day can be a day of celebration and acknowledgement for lots of us. It can be a difficult day for those of us that have, or those of you that have lost your moms, or have other situations or stories. And certainly, my heart goes out to you if that's the boat you're in. Um, but hey, we are really close to the end of session. We are just a couple of days away. If you happen to have watched Your Vote Counts this morning on News 9, Scott Mitchell, as every week, had Jason Dunnington and Leslie Osborne, to House reps there on the show, and they didn't really mince words. They both kind of said like, "Hey, look, we've got 2 days to get this done." There still seems to be some not quite lining up between the parties, certainly between the chambers. It sounds like everything I've heard, and I haven't heard anything late today yet, that the House has an agreement or is very close to an agreement for about 400 or 425 million dollars in revenue, which is good news, not great news because we need a lot more than that, right? Like we need at least 878 million just to like get by, but that doesn't include what we've got to pay back to the rainy day fund. That doesn't include the 10 million that they've got to pay back to the lottery fund, to the education, because they mishandled lottery funds, which I know many of you are super upset about, as am I. That's just ridiculous. And so maybe today, out of all days, we should remember what our mothers taught us and what I assume the mothers of all the legislators taught them. Like to be kind and to be fair, do the right thing, to think about others, and to be considerate, and to, I don't know, I would hope that a bunch of Oklahoma moms taught their kids to reach out and help the poor and the needy, the widows and the orphans, and to be caring and considerate and compassionate, both in the words we choose and in our actions for sure. So I know on Twitter today, this evening, it's kind of gotten a little heated between a few reps, and I know that I believe that everyone has a shared mutual respect for one another, but also like it's out in the public sphere, and so sometimes, as we've learned in the last year, 140 characters can come across maybe the way that you intended it, and sometimes the way that you didn't. And so I really hope that no matter what's happening on social media or what happens inside the Capitol or in people's living rooms or wherever they're at right now, over text messages, having these conversations, that we get to where we need to be. I also think that if your mom's like mine, she taught you to stand up and to speak up for those who don't have a voice, and to use whatever power or influence that you have for good. And so I really encourage you, like I do every time, but seriously today, take some time, take 5 minutes this evening, pull out your phone, write a quick email to your House rep and your senator, and let them know how you feel about these budget obstacles. You've got to push them and be respectful, but don't be gentle. Maybe like be firm and say, like, this is, our situation is dire. We are at the end, and that, I don't know, think about what you really care about and what really matters, and find those words and use those words. Don't just say, please support GPT increase. Like that's great, but why? Like what's so important? I also would encourage you, if you haven't already read it today, there's an opinion piece in the Tulsa World from George Kaiser, longtime oil man, Oklahoman, philanthropist, and certainly someone who is knowledgeable and concerned about the current state and the future of Oklahoma. He has a great piece, and maybe the line that stood out most to me said, "You don't have to. It doesn't take smarts. It takes statesmanship." And that's really what we're asking, right? That's what we want, is just for people to be a statesman, like to be an Oklahoman, and for all Oklahoma. It's not just for a select few, but to stand up and say you can choose to either represent just a few companies who have some employees, but whose most of the revenue and money goes to outside stakeholders and stock owners, or you can invest in the lives of people who live in your district, who live down the street, who shop at the grocery store, who go to the gas station, who go to the schools in your neighborhood. I'm just a couple of miles from Gatewood Elementary that may close because of budget cuts. There's so many schools across the state that might not just close. And I think everyone needs to understand that if a school or a rural hospital closes, yes, they could be opened up again, but they probably won't. It's way harder to reopen a hospital after it's been shuttered for a few months or a few years. And so if anyone who says, oh, well, it's okay, we'll just keep it closed and next year we'll fix it and reopen it. No, they won't. That's not going to happen. You know it, I know it, and the dudes at the Capitol and the dudettes know that that's not going to happen. So we need to encourage them, push them to make these changes. We've got to have this happen. It's got to happen this week. So all revenue measures have to be passed out of both chambers by Friday, next Friday. That means they've got to pass out of committee by Tuesday, really. They've got to pass out of committee, and the JCAB, the Joint Committee on Appropriations and Budget, have to pass out of House JCAB and Senate JCAB the next 2 days, and then they can go to the floor in both chambers, pass both floors, and get to the governor's desk so she can sign it next week. If this doesn't happen, the sky's not going to fall immediately, but that will almost certainly push us into a special session, and that special session is going to cost $30,000 to $40,000 a day. That's a teacher's salary every single day. So every day they have to go in a special entire year. So think about that. Think about what that cost is. Think about how many social workers that could pay for. $30,000, $35,000. This is the salary of some of the most important people in our community. They would be wasting that, spending that every single day because they couldn't agree on a couple of things that they probably already agree about. So the next couple of days, pay close attention. Don't forget, you can stream JCAB meetings and floor sessions online. If you go to oklegislature.gov or oksenate.gov, okhouse.gov, you can get all there. They've got audio, video links where you can stream it. If you can, you might consider taking off work and going up there today just to sit around and watch, or to go up and have a conversation. That's my plan. I've already been looking at my schedule, how I can shuffle stuff around so I can be up there more. And if any day, like Monday night or Tuesday night, they go late, stay tuned in to our Facebook and our Twitter, and we'll let you know if we're going up there. If it goes late either night, that's my plan, is to go up there and sit and watch and listen to debate and talk to them if I can. Really let them know that we care enough that we're going to show up late at night too. We're going to take time off of our work to go to their office and say, hey guys, you work for us. This is what Oklahoma needs. You know it, I know it. Let's just get it done. Okay, everyone have a great Sunday, and we'll have an update, hopefully a positive one, tomorrow around lunchtime. Have a good night.